Hello. I'm just setting up the stream at the moment. So I have some YouTube audio library music, which means no attribution required. Though I'll give credit, it's from John Patitucci, is the man who made this song. Yeah. So, give me a moment while I get everything set up for how I'm going to be doing this. Because today is the 5th. Okay, because I need to basically... So let me go ahead and I want to set something up. Maybe you can just do this in Notepad. Let me try. Something like that. Alright. So, let's go ahead and get started here. Alright. So, I should keep in mind, what are my due dates for my things? So, I have a project and peer evaluation due tomorrow. So, today is the 5th, so... Let's just go through here. And I'm just going to keep... Oh, sorry. Copy that. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Let's go ahead and type these numbers in. So, let's see. So tomorrow I have for French, I've got the following that's due. So I have my virtual museum project. And that's going to be due at like 10 o'clock. Then I also have peer evaluations. And it's also at like 10 o'clock or so. Okay, so we have our virtual museum project due, peer evaluations are due tomorrow at 10. We can go ahead and mark these as due. So that's what these arrows are going to mean, is that's going to mean due. Alright, next we got... What else do I have that I need to get done? I have an exam on the 9th of December. So this will be for my calculus class. And we'll say exam. And that's going to be at 8 o'clock. Okay, then on the 10th of December, I have French exam. And that one's going to be at like 1500. Okay. And then on the 13th of December, we got, for my stats class, I got a final project due. And that one's due at 14:30. Okay. So in that case, I want to, so if this is due tomorrow at 10, I should not be leaving it until tomorrow. I should be finishing it today. So let's go ahead and get started to try to make that happen. So we'll say French, and then we'll have finish virtual museum project. And then let's look at what would the sub tasks of that be. So I have to write the introduction. I have to write artifact description. I have to finish bibliography. I'm going to put that means like supplementary. So we'll say make aesthetics nice. I don't remember which key it was I had to press to get the AE. AE, it's Z. Okay. Okay, I'll make the aesthetics nice. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good subtask list. Alright. Because I have my calculus exam, I should also be including for calculus. We'll say we'll say review homework 6 and homework 7 for questions. Okay. I'm trying to think. Okay, I definitely need to be working on all my classes, except for, I think I'm done with my technical communications class. I just did an exam today, and I think that was all for it. Let me also turn this down a little bit, so you don't have to deal with this being quite as loud, the background audio. And sorry, if you hear like a beep beep sound in the background, that is a little thing I set up for myself. I set it up. I thought it was pretty cool. It basically it goes off every 30 minutes. So just now it went off because it's 12:30. But yeah, so it goes off every 30 minutes to basically inform me of how like time is passing. So if you hear that, and the sound effect is from the old Nokia sound effect that it would make at the top of the hour. Wait, I think it was Nokia. I think it was. I don't remember. Whatever. It was supposed to be a retro sound effect. I don't know. I made it manually though, using a Python script and then event scheduler. So, I don't know. I was pretty happy with it. Anyways, okay. For the stats thing, I need to read over the rubric from top to bottom and make plan. Like, that is, I think, the most important thing, because I had like a plan of like, you know, how long it was going to take me to add all the data for my project. But now that I have all the data in, I don't really have a good plan for what to do going forward. So I think it would be really important to get that today. Like I said, I don't think I have anything more for any of my for my technical communications class. So I think that should probably be good. So then on Friday, I have calculus that day. So we have my French course, we got calculus. We'll say review 5 questions professor mentioned. Actually, hold on. I think I want to do something for... No. What I need to do is add Anki flashcards for memorization. Because I've been making these flashcards for memorization. Like, we have to memorize basically the what's the word I'm looking for? Theorems. Yeah, there's like theorems and definitions you have to memorize. And it's worth like 20% of the exam. So it's definitely worth it to go through and add them. Although I have to be careful about that, because that's something I can get trapped in very easily, where I'll get like obsessive about making the flashcard look perfect and act perfect or whatever. And that sort of acts as a detriment to me actually practicing the thing that I'm trying to practice, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, and that's most of the study plan for, well, today and tomorrow, but I have a bunch of days. So for the stats stuff, that's to figure out today. For the calculus stuff, I think I should be able to plan this up until the exam, and then after that I don't have to worry about it. So the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, or well, the 10th will be on this, but the 11th, 12th, and 13th will be only stats. So that should be helpful for those last couple of days, but that's going to be kind of rough. Yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. This is going to be a pretty crazy few days. It may not seem like a lot here, but I also have to pack up for stuff. I'm going to be going abroad this next semester, so it's going to be kind of crazy. So I have to like plan a bunch of things out to get stuff packed up. So yeah, going to be kind of crazy. Now, see, the thing is that part of me wants to just stop here with the study plan, because I already have what I want to do for today, and that feels like a good place to whatever. But then the problem is that tomorrow I'm not going to have what I'm supposed to do, and then the next day after that I got nothing, next day after that. So I actually think, so let's go ahead and just put in stats. Exactly, okay. See, at this point we just have stats for these days. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these. Okay. I feel like I can get away with like very light studying. Maybe fill out like the study guide. I think there is a study guide or something. So I think if I just fill that out, then I should be good. I think otherwise, like the vast majority of my time should not be spent on that. So for this, the French thing is due. I want to add these cards. So then let's do this. We'll say 15 minutes. We'll say 20 minutes. 20 minutes practicing Anki flashcards. That's not all I'm going to be doing, but I want to add that so I don't forget about it. Okay. Okay, for the stats, I need to wait to figure that out. Maybe we'd spend closer to an hour the day before. Let's say 1 hour studying for exam. So let's just put that there. But then prior to that, we'll say maybe 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, then I'm just left with the stats stuff, which I should be able to fill out after this. Wait, no. I still have some more calculus stuff, just because I added these. So I want to have that, and then I also want to go through work through 5 lecture note examples. Okay, and then for the 7th, 20 minutes practicing those. I want to spend figure out all answers for homework 8. Top to bottom. I want to be very careful. I think that would be good. I think 20 minutes practicing the Anki flashcards. Okay, for this final day, go through examples mentioned may be on exam. Okay, and the calculus exam is going to be very early. So I actually feel pretty good about this. I feel like this is a good, solid list, except for the stats thing, but like I said, I'm going to figure that out today over the course of this stream. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and try to be right back because I need to go ahead and grab a quick snack, I think. So give me just a minute. Oh, I'm not seeing my own live stream here. Am I not streaming? Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure what was the deal there. I think this entire time my thing has been unlisted, so nobody can even see the live stream. Oopsies. So, did not realize that was how that worked. Alright. Alright, here we go. Let me turn down the audio again here. So it's just sort of in the background, hopefully. And then let's go ahead and get started on what it is that I need to get done today. So if I'm looking at this, what are my priorities? I think the first one is obviously the thing that's due tomorrow, right? Because these are important, right? And I definitely do need to get them done today, but only one of them is on quite as strict of a deadline. So let's go ahead and work through this. Maybe not this part, but let's do these 3 parts, which are required. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all that set up, and you can see my face while I do that. Give me just a minute. Oh, I'm wearing my shirt inside out. Oh no, I am. Yeah, I got these little things. I didn't even notice because I was wearing a hoodie over it outside. Oh man. Alright. So I'm writing That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, I don't think that there's any point in me screwing around with that at all. So let me change windows here to PowerPoint. I don't think I have anything open that's crazy. I don't. Just wanted to make sure I'm not doxing anyone here. And I'm not, so we should be good. Alright, so now that I figured out my study plan, let me go ahead and change. Actually, hold on. Let me change my YouTube title here first. Give me just a second to do that. Real fast. So we got this. Okay, how does this work? Shorts, or no. How do I do this? Details. Okay, can I change this? Okay. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and save. Okay. Alright, I should be good now. We're working on this. Okay. So this is a engraving of a mother who fixes her regard, or fixes her eyes, her gaze. There we go. That's the expression. Who fixes her gaze on the young couple. Comte de Castille voulait trouver une épouse pour son fils. Okay, let me... So for this, I need to search a little bit online, because I think basically what ends up happening is what I want to get across is that she is the one who decides to pick out Margaret of Provence as the wife for Louis IX. She's the person who goes out and like looks for like where's a good deal, or like who's the the right woman for him. And she ends up being the woman that's chosen, but afterwards she gets like super, I guess, authoritative, or like weird, sort of stepping over them, and that's sort of what this artifact is supposed to represent, because the presentation is supposed to give like an overview of her sort of life, and so this is her as like a mother, and specifically you can see like Margaret has like her leg up here, so she's definitely getting a little bit more intimate with Louis, but yeah, Blanche is not approving. She has like this disapproving gaze, and she has like her hand sort of outstretched towards him. Meanwhile, Louis is just looking down at her leg. But I thought that this would be a good representative one, because I already have stuff about her as a religious woman, her as a regent of France, and then her as a Castilian. So I wanted to sort of put this sort of last one to talk about like her as a as a mother, and specifically as a strict mother, which she had a reputation for being. Of like, I think she made Margaret and Louis sleep in separate beds and like a bunch of other stuff like that. So that's the idea that I want to get across, but I don't want to, I have to be careful with the way that I say it, because I need to be able to source every single statement that I'm saying. This is like a general impression that I've gotten based off of reading things that I cannot cite as reference material, like things like Wikipedia, which by the way, I'm not against using Wikipedia. I actually think Wikipedia is a great tool for people to find sort of background information, but it itself is not a reliable source. And it depends on what you mean by reliable, right? Like in your everyday life, it is reliable in that, like, generally, if you read something off Wikipedia, you can probably trust that it's true. But is it reliable in an academic sense? It's not reliable in an academic sense. You should not be citing that as a source. However, Wikipedia, it's kind of like citing an essay or something like that, right? An analysis essay. Like, let's say you were trying to find something out about the film The Shining, and instead of going to like an actual source about, you know, what did Kubrick think of blah 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 blah, instead you were just like, actually, why don't I just look at what did this random website's review of The Shining, what did it say about it? And it's like, maybe this reviewer is super reliable, but they're a reviewer and they don't have more inside information necessarily, or you can't trust that they have. Whereas, like, if you have an interview with Kubrick himself, or with one of the people who worked on set or something like that, then you have direct things. And so similarly, when I'm talking about Blanche de Castille, and I'm saying something like that she made them sleep in separate beds, I can't just say that, well, because Wikipedia said so. Like, that's not a source. It's sort of a compilation of available sources to give a quick overview of information. That's the point of Wikipedia. Now, you could go a lot worse than just trusting what you read on Wikipedia. Like, if you just read or just trusting what you read on random blogs, for instance, or on, you know, YouTube videos. But that being said, you know, this is talking about for an assignment for a college thing. So it's a little bit different. But anyways. For this, there's this book that I wanted to find. It's called Dictionnaire des Reines de France, or for those of you who don't speak French, that is a dictionary of the queens of France. So I'm just looking through here, and it looks like I can get it through some of these things. I wonder whether I can get it from my yeah, I'm just looking at some of these. A bunch of these are French universities. The BNF. Let me see this. Depending on where it is this something... How difficult is it for me to get? I'm trying to figure out, because they do happen in the Library of Congress, so I might, I might just go with that. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, let me look at Library of Congress. Congress. That doesn't even mean anything. Okay, let's see. Item availability. Can you register online? Oh, so you actually have to physically visit the library if you want to get it. That's annoying. Okay, well I can't do that then. It's the Library of Congress. I feel like it should be accessible without having to visit it, but okay. Oh, here we go. It's available at the UDM one. Let me see, because I think I might have access to... Yeah, just give me 1 second, because I do have a, an account at the University of Montreal. Okay, let's see whether this works. Yes, there we go. Okay, let's try this again. And the name of this one is Dictionnaire de Reine de France. So let's go ahead and search for that. Here we go. It says, is it available online or no? No, it's not. I have to go there physically. Damn. So it's not available digitally. Unfortunately, it looks like. That's too bad. Okay, well I really wanted to do that, but I guess I can't. Okay, I don't want to get too caught up in looking for this because I have a lot to do, and I can already feel myself like I'm about to do that. Sorry that I only have my camera up, but I just don't want to accidentally put up personal information. I'm trying to be careful about that. Well, in that case, if that's not available, then I need to give up on that. Let's see if I can find any other, Oh, there was a, book that I was reading. It was on, like, Google Books. Books.google. That existed. That was from, like, the Middle Ages. Or no, not Middle Ages. It was more like... Wait, was it the Middle Ages, or was it closer to... I think it was this. Yeah, here it is. It was in 1644, so... I think that's post-Middle Ages, because that's post-Enlightenment, I think. Wait, no. No, that's post-Renaissance, but I don't think post-Enlightenment. I think Enlightenment 1700s, right? When was the Enlightenment? Start date was 1685, so it's before. Yeah. Alright, that's what I thought. Alright, in that case, let me take a look at this. Wait, what? No result of sound. Preview this book. Yeah, but it exists from top to bottom here. Okay. Let me do this, and then let me open up. Wait, why are my add-ons, or why are my bookmarks? Okay, there we go. Okay, that should be good. Hello, where's Firefox here? Why is it not? Notepad? What the hell? I just don't even see it on my list of windows, even though I literally clearly have it open. Is it because it's private browsing? Oh no, there it is. Now it's there. Okay. So you can take a look at it together here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh man, it's going to be old because it's 1600s, so it's going to be old, or well, I think this is Middle French. What counts as Middle French? Early 17th century. There we go, so I am right. Okay, so this is like the end of it, though. You can see S used to be spelled, or written differently. It's like this weird, like, integral sign. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, is where the integral sign comes from, is an S. It's like this sort of S shape, and it's supposed to mean, like, sum. So, in case people weren't aware of that. Votre Majesty. This is also, since it's 1600s, this is written still under French monarchy. This is before, this is like 140 years before the French Revolution. This would be under 1640s. I think that would be under Louis XIV, if I'm not mistaken. From 1643 until his death in 1715. So this would be written like when Louis became king, but the king, but when he was still young. Madame. So this time, this would be during his what do you call it? The regency of his mother. Votre Majesté. España. I don't even know what this means. Oh, hold on. Discover the regents of the most. Discover the most famous regents of antiquity. Reflété par le problème policier et contre. Fortunately, I've read a bunch of like 1800s French, so the 1600s French, it is a little bit harder to read, but not that much harder. I know some of like the things. Like one of them is, you can see connoître, connoître, connoître. So you can see that's actually an S right there. But that becomes an I with the circumflex accent on it. And then also the O becomes an A. And that's literally connaître, which is to know of. Know that God himself, or that even God, has not something, the government of women on his people. That God himself has not disapproved of the government of women on his people. The king of Argos, that would be in Greece, women and the king of Egypt. Maybe. Okay, so this is the preface. Hold on, yeah. See, this is the Julius Caesar, Roman Empire. Okay, we're way past Roman Empire. Talking about preface, we're like, at this point we're talking about like 1,000 years before. Imagine reading a World War II history book and they were like, think back to the wars, to the ancient Greek wars and Troy or whatever. Actually, I think those are fictional, or well, they're legend, they're myth. So I don't know whether they actually happened, but sorry, it's funny to see all this stuff about, like, is this just basically talking about female rulers? Women in the monarchy of the Roman Empire. Okay, so that's not what I'm looking for. In Germany, we're talking about Henri Fécond. Henry. Bohemia, Poland, Norway, Denmark. Okay. Ensuite, succède à Reine sa mère. Elle gouverneur au Grand. Okay, we're not talking about her. See, this is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is just like random, because I'm pretty sure this is literally only about Blanche of Castile, and they're like, it's acting like it's a bunch of different like it's just talking about a bunch of Reine Mère, which is, I think, means the Queen Mother. So I think that's specifically talking about those who, I think that might be like Queen Consort, where the idea is basically that you're not queen in the same way that Queen Elizabeth was, where she was the head of state of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. I actually don't know anything about UK history, so don't judge me if I just like said that incredibly incorrectly. So keep that in mind, that I have no idea what I'm talking about with that. Okay, now we're up to the Capetians. Hugues Capet. We have Philip Auguste. Oh, there we go. Philippe Auguste. Oh, jeez. Okay, this is kind of loud. Let me turn this down a little bit. No, wait, hold on. This is as low as I can go here. It'll be less loud for you guys than it is for me, but either way. So here we go. Flandre. Again, Philip Auguste, Conferdre. Okay, here we go. We're getting closer. Oh, I feel like there's some of the bottom of that missing or something. De la Mare. The Prince Louis of France, his king. Okay, here we go. Now we're up to the Louis VIII. La puissance de la reine Alix de Champagne. Régence laquelle rêche. cette française. Voilà sans doute les considérations tant domestiques que publiques, which in the following times carried with Prince Louis of France. Oh, that's interesting. Is they used to put the umlaut, or no, they don't call it the umlaut. They call it the tréma. They used to put the tréma over the U. I guess it makes sense because you're doing O-U-I. So you're doing two vowel sounds next to each other, which normally would do that. Although it's weird that it would be, shouldn't it be O-U and then I with a tréma above it? That feels off. But a lot of this stuff isn't even standardized yet, so that's fair. Okay, here we go. La prudente conduite de la reine Blanche de Castille, sa femme. Nous dirons ici aucune chose. Once the actions of this excellent queen are truly the subject of our work. Okay. So I think not talking about her is this. Okay, here we go. Book 1, we got... Oh, is this errata? I don't remember what that meant. Is that like table of contents, or is this like the errors? I think this is errors. I guess that makes sense that you'd have that. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I could use one of these instead. That's also possible. Once again, this just says book 1. This book is really long, so I'm not reading the whole thing. So unless I either find a really cool picture of her, or that you see there, Castille, and that's an S, and it's like this weird shape. Oh, and you can read through the pages here. It's kind of weird. Henry II, this is way later. Jean Santerre. That's Philippe Auguste. Why is Jade written with an I? That's weird. Okay, this is the very early stuff. This is about like how did they get together. Jean Santerre. Philippe Auguste. It's interesting because there's so much that is spelled differently, but it's actually like mostly readable. Like there's like certain things that are different, but it's mostly readable. I guess in the same way that things are like spelled or written kind of differently in like this sort of time period in England, you know, if you're talking about, you know, Shakespeare or whatever. Although Shakespeare is in a play form, so it's also deliberately, I don't know if wordy is the right word, but it's deliberately written in like in a different format because it's an iambic pentameter and there's some other things, so it's a little bit weird. But I'm not a Shakespeare person, so I don't know that much. Mais un peu de temps. Okay. So I want to talk about later Crusade. Okay, this would be the second one. This is what I'm looking for. Nice, we got some great sexism. Jesus. It's in 1600s, so it's to be expected. It's not okay. Still not okay, but not surprising to see. And you know, women, they're so much better at negotiation and moderation than the men's are. Okay, buddy. Wait, is the author saying this? Oh, this is talking about the royal family in general. So, I guess we're talking about the 1200s, so. Jeez. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking way later here. This is like the early part. I'm looking for when these are like attempts to overthrow during her her regency, which is not what I'm looking for. I'm talking about her educating them about God. Sans entrer dans les discussions de raison contraire et même mieux. Son mari. Okay, this time out getting the sacre. Which is like the coronation, but it's a little bit different in France because the coronation also involved like the Pope and stuff. But yeah, that's what it was called. Le Sacre. It's interesting because at this time, this is 1640 something, so at this time it's, what, 200, no, 400 years ago? So it would be like the equivalent of me now talking about this. Well, I get, not the equivalent, whatever, but in terms of like literal time, not in terms of other things. Okay. Cependant, 23e siècle. Okay. I'm trying to see what we can see it. Education of the young king, her son. Comte de Champagne. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can find this part. Not sure what the deal is where I need to manually open this. Oh, it's saying OBS has crashed, but I don't think it has. It's still streaming, isn't it? Yeah, it's still streaming. So I'm going to not click on that because I think if I do, then it closes out of the program. I can't see the YouTube live chat, so if you're typing or anything like that, I can't see you. Although I don't think there is anybody here. I could be wrong, but if you are, appreciate you. But I'm not specifically expecting. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, but that's okay. As long as everything's working out okay. As I said, I think it has to do with the chat. That's kind of screwed. But that's okay. Let's keep going here. Cardinal, Barcelona process. Cardinal, Okay, this is talking about an attempt to overthrow her during this time. Okay, I'm just gonna start going through this way faster until I just see something about her. Because I'm just looking for a good source here. And if I end up spending all this time on this, then I've spent a bunch of time that I need to spend studying for other things on this. So let's go ahead. Call the Champagne. See, did it again. Now I have to open up this damn thing in order for a new song to play. I don't understand why it does. It's really frustrating. Bejois. Bro, how long is this gonna take? Is there just not gonna be anything about this? Oh, I'd be so pissed if that were to become the case. I feel like it would have to be. Or is this literally only about politically things she did? See, I'm not seeing it. See, I'm just not seeing it. Okay, hold on. Let me look up on the other thing what part of this would be. So let me look. Margaret of Provence. So she becomes 1233. Okay. So this is before. So she only became queen in 1234. So this is actually before. So it should be right near the beginning, actually, that she becomes Duc de Bretagne. Oh, there we go. Si ce n'est que nous mettions entre les principaux effets de la politique de notre régente, le mariage du roi, son fils, avec Marguerite, fille aînée du comte de Provence. Car il est certain que cette femme est excellente, choisie sans lui parle. Okay, so I can cite it right there. I finally found it. Oh man, that took me so long. Here we go. We'll say page 150. So then now, let's go ahead and switch. Dude, this is kind of hype. Or sorry, I mean this music is kind of cool. Okay. Comte de Castille voulait trouver une épouse pour... Ok. C'était de Castille. Or I could say... C'était la... Reine-Mère. What is that called? Reine-Emere. It's Reine-Mère, I think. So we'll just put that in. La Reine. It was the Mother Queen herself who decided to... Okay, and hold on. I can put this one in page 150. And then I'll sort that out later. The actual, because that's not the correct citation style or whatever. But I'm going to go back and do that. So c'était là, but the first thing I want to do is just get the information down. And what page I found it on. And then afterwards I can go through and format it properly. But I want to actually get the information down. So that's what I'm doing right now. C'était la reine-mère elle-même qui a décidé de marier son fils à Marguerite de Provence, mais cependant Oh wait, I think they had a different thing. Par contraire. Or par contre. Par contre. Okay, hold on. I need to change this because this is set to English for some reason. This is also set to English for some reason, even though it's not in English. Marguerite. Par contre. What is this? Oh. Oh, I see. So, cependant is sort of like the formal thing. So, however might not be the right word. So, cependant is like a more formal way to say that, apparently. Cependant, which is what I was going to do before. I didn't realize there was like a informal way to say however. Or you can also say en revanche. Okay, however, what would we call this sort of like? So first of all, how do I say mother-in-law? So let me look this up on word reference. Mother-in-law. Belle-mère. Elle était une belle-mère. Or what would we even say? Strict? There we go. She was a very strict stepmother, or not stepmother, damn it. Very strict mother-in-law. I think that also means stepmother. Like, I don't think they have a different word for stepmother and mother-in-law. Although, to be fair, we're kind of like that with, I don't think they do in French either, but I think in Spanish they have a separate word for somebody who's your aunt or uncle by marriage versus aunt or uncle by blood, right? Like, you know, one of my aunts is my dad's sister, and then one of my uncles was my mom's brother, and then the other uncle was my dad's sister's husband, right? And so there's kind of a difference, or they draw a distinction in terms of like their vocabulary they use there, but we don't. So I think a lot of that stuff's weird, but apparently, yeah, belle-mère seems like it's used for both, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Elle était une belle-mère très sévère. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is the third part. I'm back to this book, looking through stuff again. See, I'm looking for this. Jeez, what is that N for Navarre? The capital N. Why is there this giant ass thing at the bottom? That is interesting. That is weird. I was not expecting that. That's like a badass N. That's like, or I don't give a. Okay. Do we not have anything else about it? I think this just might not be the right book for this. I think that maybe they just don't talk about that as much because this is about... I think they said something about her as a mother, so maybe they're just not talking about that part as much. Maybe this is mainly just her as a political entity. And so that's just not really the focus here. Or it's in a different place here, because this is just... It's huge, this book is. Excuse me. Okay, this is the second one. So this is right near the end. So yeah, I don't think that we're gonna... I think we skip over that. I don't think that this is gonna be a big... Pope. That's when she thinks that he's dead. Okay. Also, I think, to be fair, making them sleep in separate beds when they're like both 13 might be reasonable. I think it's also just kind of weird to judge about like that kind of stuff. Like maybe I don't know what was considered normal for the time period, because like a lot of that stuff, like if you just like think about it through today's lens, all of it's like really weird. But I guess this lens and culture, I guess it depends on what culture you're in. There's still some places that I would not like this, obviously, because this is different because you're talking about royalty. Which means that there's, well, actually, I don't know enough about the world to know whether or not this type of thing still exists. Okay, here we go. The phone. The queen, his wife, Margaret of Provence, the sphere. There we go. There's another mention of her. Okay, here we go. Some uninformed writers, and something of a bad bias according to custom of those who want to, something on the motives of the cabinet, where they are always magical, and that there was no point that the queen was not in France, qui mark antipathy between the two and discrete jealousies. However, it is certain, with respect to the best authors, that the I can't read that. That's something that the Queen had for St. Louis obliged her to do the vow of the crusade like the others, and something courageously, a husband so virtuous in this dangerous voyage. It is true that Blanche de Castile had sometimes testified certain bits of jealousy for this reunion, or for this meeting, so perfect that there would be between the king and the queen. But however, it is certain that this thought of Blanche did not have any other source but the violent affection that she had for the king, her son, and that she liked a little bit too much the groom. She had elle n'avoit pourtant aucune haine. I think haine means like hatred or something like that. H-I-N-E. What does that mean? Hatred, yeah. So that she did not have any hatred for the, so she was, so this is basically saying that she was overprotective, but not out of hate for Margaret, but out of overprotectiveness for her son because of her ardent love for her son. These maternal feelings were so big and so strong that in this heart, in this truly royal heart, that they carry with them sometimes something to dérèglement. I don't know what that means. But we have to testify or avouer, swear, testify that that's not the right word. Whatever. Testify that these strong that these strengths of excess are so rare that the morale did not give yet to the name among the vices who even though she had named the Temeraires, who had too much valor. I don't understand what's going on here. Quoi qu'il en soit, whatever the case, it is here the only fault that we have seen in the conduct of our queen, and it is a unique fault that she could legitimately be accused, of which she could legitimately be accused. An error, however, which was common amongst the best fathers and mothers, which are not in, I don't see what this, I don't know this word, in these meetings or in these encounters, that so that they can, or so that they are too ardent, and that they will, and that they don't want anything but that their children love them, outside of the measure, like they can't keep to themselves in the passion that they have for them. But see the first effects of our second regency. Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking through here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back here, because this was definitely, this is what I've been looking for. So we'll say page 79 through 82. 79 through 82 is my answer for that. Alright, so maybe we'll say 79 through 82, livre 3. Okay. So we're saying she's a stepmother that is very, what's the word? Overprotective. Let's see. Overprotective. Here we go. Trop I can't speak. Trop protectrice. Trop protectrice de son fils. Surprotect. Oh, okay, there we go then. Elle était une mère surprotectrice de son fils. Okay, and then I think I don't need to have all of my information coming from this, but I do like this source I have here, which I will use. I'm gonna go ahead and run that through. What do you call it? What is the name of Zotero? I'm gonna run that through Zotero after I finish this this thing. But there's one other source that I have here that is important. It is the Tombe Sépulture. It's this website. Let's go ahead and let me open that up on here so you guys can see it. So it's this one. Here we go. It's this website. Okay, I do not need live translation right now. Okay, so here we go. So this is about Blanche de Castille. It's by this website called Tombe Sépulture dans les cimetières et l'autre lieu. I think this means, I'm pretty sure this is like gravestones. So this is like a, what do you call it? It's like a database of like people who are famous related to their gravestones or something like that. I could be wrong. Or cemeteries or something. I'm not 100% certain. So, but we have here, bien que son mari pouvoir près de lui. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. À son apogée, not espoused, wifed or married. There we go. Yeah, I think wifed is technically a verb, but I haven't heard that outside of like people. I've not heard that from anybody recently, like that type of language. That sounds like something I'd read in like a book from the 1960s or something. Have you wifed her yet, son? Or something like that. I don't know. Despite these efforts to stop these reticences, Blanche could not support her daughter-in-law and transformed herself into a caricature of a mother-in-law chasing the young ones in the smallest thing in the order and recoiling from the issue of the tiniest gesture, amorous gesture. I mean, it's just like the thing of like, the traditional brother thing of like, hey man, don't kiss my sister, or don't kiss my daughter, or don't kiss my... So this is like that sort of like weird overprotective parent related to their children's love life. But it's like, I mean, that's one thing if it's like your child is with somebody that you don't like. I mean, I still don't like that, but it's weird to me to get that upset about it when you picked her out yourself. I don't know, man. It just seems kind of weird, but it is what it is, I guess. She was ravaged with jealousy. Okay, so here we go. So I think I can put that one in. So you can say, elle était une mère surprotectrice. And it was common. C'était, or it wasn't uncommon is what I want to say. Like, but I don't think that they use double negatives in French. Like, I think that's grammatically incorrect in French. I could be wrong. Let me check. I'm just going to type this into DeepL, like the Translate app. So if I'm saying... So, it wasn't uncommon for her to do this stuff. Okay, no, never mind. It's not... Okay, no, it's not. N'était pas rare. Not par. Oh wait, hold on, sorry. I'm in the wrong, let me switch windows so you guys can see what I'm typing. Sorry about that. I don't think that was for too long. It was only like these words. So, I don't think that's too big of a deal. But okay. She was a overprotective mother towards her son. And it was not rare for her to, what would you say, rebuke? Maybe that's not what I'm looking for. I'm like, to go, that's not okay. You're not supposed to do that. I'm trying to think of the, what would even be the right word for that? To chastise? Chastise is probably the word I'm looking for. Okay, so now let me go to word reference so I can translate that. Chastise. And it's actually perfect because it's literally about like I think literally it comes from like chastity. Like being chaste. Here we go. To chastise somebody is to reprimand. Réprimand. Pour elle de réprimander le jeune couple dans la manière exprimée. Dans la to the right. Okay, cependant, elle était une mère surprotectrice. I don't know why that's so hard to say. Surprotectrice de son fils, et il n'était pas rare pour elle de réprimander le jeune couple dans la manière exprimée dans la gravure de droite. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. It was the... Okay. Okay, I want to also say, however, it's important to note that, sorry, it's hard to say it in English while I'm typing it in French. It's important to note that, however, it is important to note that, what I want to say is that it's not really her fault, or how would I even say that? It's not, I don't know. It's not her or no, basically I'm saying that it isn't born from animosity, her decisions. It's born from her fierce love of her son. But the problem is that the way I want to say that involves like a bunch of idioms slash metaphors that I'm not sure if they um, exist in French or in the same manner in French. So I have to like translate it in a different way. I have to like reformulate the thought first. But like in my head, that's what I'm thinking. Is I'm thinking in terms of idioms. That's one of the things I'd say about translating languages is the idioms are non-literal, but it's not like the idioms aren't supplementary or are not supplementary. They're not supplementary for your first language, or at least not for me. But when I'm in a second language, it's like, well, I could just use the literal one, and that's usually what I'll do, unless I'm specifically going out of my way to use an idiom, right? Like if I'm saying, you know, it's not the end of the world or whatever, like that's something that I'm going to do reflexively without even thinking about it. And then if I'm trying to translate that, my first thought is, how do I literally translate, it is not the end of the world? But like, that's not the phrase that you would use in French. If you wanted to use an idiomatic one, you'd say it's not the it's not the sea that you don't have to drink the sea. Ce n'est pas la mer à boire. But it's a little bit different here. I'm going to be right back because I've been talking for quite a bit and my water bottle's empty. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a drink and I will be right back. You can listen to some tunes here. And I'm back. There we go. I still haven't drinking the water yet, though. My throat's killing me right now. Okay. I think that's better for my voice. Although I'm gonna also maybe try to talk a little bit quieter. Anyways, what am I gonna do? Let me open this up again. I want to say that it's important to note Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at this translation. I'm not going to directly copy it, but I just want to see how I would even... Oh, okay, you would not use c'est, I would say il est important de noter que cette surprotection Venez. Um, um, okay. I feel like this is a solid science with us. And so maybe now that I finish this, oh, now that I can say I finished this, I need to go over to the theme introduction. So I might go over that with my teammates after I finish this. But like I said, that's after I finish this. First, I want to use, I think they have a designer thing here that I can do that just lets me change the layout a bit without changing it too much. Like this, see? Boom. Yeah, that's probably better. See, that's way better. But this randomly switched it back into fucking English when I didn't have it in English for no good reason. Who knows? Who knows? I certainly do not. Sorry, I know that I make that. I don't think a lot of people make that, but I always make that noise when I'm drinking water. I like exhale like I've just tasted something really good. But it's not like that water's specially good or anything. It's just water. But yeah, I don't know. It's like it was like one of those. I'm sure everybody has these. There's like certain reactions like that you have that maybe aren't very normal, but you don't care about enough to like actually change them. It's just like, you know what, maybe that's not the normal way people do that, but this is the way that I did it when I was a kid, and I never really learned to stop doing it that way, and I don't really care to. Like, it's not really worth it. I don't really care about it that much. But I wanted to point it out in case anyone was curious about it, whether I'd noticed. I did. But anyways, I think that should be it for that. But I do need to work on an introduction to the sub-theme. So that would be this one. Because this is just like not even close to enough. This is like a baby's introduction. Let me see. Let me take a quick look at the rubric here. I gotta pull that up really quickly, so I will be right back to this. Hold on. Here we go. Actually, let me check my email also. I just want to see if I have any new emails. Oh, I just got something. She's like deliberately not doing that. Honestly, I get it. If that was the case. Sorry, I just talked to myself. Okay, I'm looking at the rubric here. Or the grill of evaluation. Which, alright, this says there is an excellent introduction on the homepage which explains, because this can either be done as a presentation as we're doing, or also could be done as a website, which I'm not doing. On the homepage, which explains clearly to the visitor the theme and the subthemes that we have chosen. Each exposition thing has its own title and a small introduction which indicates the subtheme and that which the visitor will find there. All the artifacts are named and the information and pertinent information are present. There is a logical progression which is easy to follow to the development of the exposition. There's a bibliography at the end. Okay. So let's go back here. So for this, it should be just a smaller introduction where we basically name Blanche de Castille était do we have like an some way to say like Blanche, also known by the moniker I think is what I think is the it's the Reine Blanche, Louis the Ninth. Hold on, just give me a second. La Reine Blanche. Interesting. Oh, so that was a name given to the widows of kings of France. Interesting. Is there not a... Okay. No, why is this in English again? Stop! I don't know why it keeps doing that. I don't know what makes it decide, hey, I want you to randomly be in English when you're like literally writing in French. She was born, so she became the Queen of France. But what was she at birth? Was she a princess at birth? She was wife and Elena of England, granddaughter of the famous Elena of Aquitaine. Aquitaine is how you'd say that. But family. Okay, so she's not was the Reine de France. $13, 1235. Wait, what happened in 1235? Is that when what's her face? So wait, hold on. Why is she no longer the Queen of France? And 25th of April, 1255. What happened then? Oh, this is different than what it says in... Oh, because there's two different types. There's the Queen Consort versus the Queen Regent, which I don't think... I think that that's an English thing. I don't think that's a French thing. So, because there's one is like the Queen Ruler, I think, but then there's Queen Consort, which means like the wife of the king, and then Queen Regent is, yeah, who acts as the regent of her son. Okay, just have to do with the Margaret. So no, Margaret of Provence, she was married in May 28th, 1234. So why does she stop being the queen? Okay, that's what I'm confused about. And 1255. Or sorry, 1235. Generally believe Louis began rolling personally in 1234, with his mother assuming a more advisory role. Okay. So maybe that's what it is? Yeah, I'm not seeing. Okay. Okay. Était la reine de France. See, the problem is I just don't know how else to phrase this, but if I phrase it this way, then it looks like I'm copying off the Wikipedia article, which is not what I'm doing. I just want to say that she's the Queen of France because of her marriage to, what's his face? But, like, literally that's what the Wikipedia article says, like, almost word for word, so I can't use that. I have to figure out something else instead. But I'm not sure what to go with. Okay, so I think maybe I take a break from this right now. Maybe we come back to this. Maybe right now I work on one of my other things. Let me see what else I had. I could work on the calculus stuff, or I could go over my stats rubric. I don't think I can do the stats thing on stream, but I can go through my homework for calculus on stream. But if I do that, then I need to grab my drawing tablet so that way I can write on here so it's visible. So in that case, I'm gonna have to be right back so I can grab that very quickly. Alright, well, I'm back now. I got it plugged in, so now I just need to change the title of the stream and a couple of other things. Edit video. Okay. Alright, that should all be ready. So let me just pull up my note-taking stuff. And the homework, although you guys won't be able to see that. That'll just be for me. Although I'll take a screenshot so you can see like each of the things. So it's not going to be crazy or anything. So let's go with files. Homework 6. Okay. We should be pretty much ready for that. Here we go. So we should be good for that now. Let me just pull this up so I can take a quick screenshot here. What the hell? I can't tell what's going on there. Okay. Anyways. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Like this. Here we go. Okay. Here we are. Hey, where did my... Dude, this music keeps... Is it because we're... No. Alright, let's do this. Okay, let this open. Okay, I just want to make sure that everything is visible to you guys. You're not cut off from anything. Now it should be. Alright. So let's go ahead and work through it. So we're working through sequences and series here at the moment. So we're starting off with the question is about showing that if you have two infinite series which converge to finite values, where each of those are not necessarily non-negative, that we cannot say that their product will necessarily be also convergent to a finite integer. So for this one, I just have this memorized. I just know this. So for this one, you just say, let's let a sub n be equal to b sub n, which is equal to... Oh yeah, this is the problem I was having before where it just wouldn't let me erase properly, which it's still not letting me do for some reason. Which is equal to, and hold on, but I think I do have control space, which does this. No, it doesn't do it properly. Whatever. I don't think it'll be a big problem. And if it is, well, that's just too bad, isn't it? So where a sub n is equal to b sub n, which is equal to -1 to the nth over the square root of n. And this basically works because the reason why these would converge to a finite value is because they're alternating. Basically it's basically for each thing, for each plus positive thing, you're getting a minus thing that's the same size as that. Or, well, not exactly, but yeah. But overall, it sort of evens out. And so over time, it goes towards 0. And that's really all that you need. Whereas if you multiply them together, then that part cancels out. And then you're just left with 1 over n, which is the harmonic series, which diverges. So there's my counterexample. Okay, next. We just have b. Here we go. If we impose additional assumptions that a sub n and b sub n are greater than 0, then we can prove that this is not the case. And it basically has to do with this not be you not being able to cancel this out anymore. So the way that I like to prove this is to say that say let, we'll say let, because we know that it converges to a finite value. So let's go ahead and say what that finite value is, or we'll say that a equals, or we'll say let a equal. Let a equals the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of a sub n, and b equals the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of b sub n. I don't even think we need that second part. Since a sub n is greater than or equal to 0, but by divergence test, actually we don't even need this part. Because a sub n is greater than 0, we can basically just say that therefore is majorized. Or no, sorry. Not the sum of a sub n. The sequence a sub n. That the... Dang, not being able to just... In one of my previous streams, I stopped being able to use the button on my pencil that makes it erase for some reason. I'm not really sure what the cause of it is, but yeah, it happened, and now that doesn't even work anymore for some reason. But yeah, I couldn't tell you why. It just suddenly stopped working, so. I just want to try one more time to see if I can get this to work. Weird, okay. Could it be as... I mean, I guess I could turn off. Okay, there's a... It's hard to... I think I might be losing my voice or something. It's kind of hard to talk. I might need to end my stream here soon. Not sure what the deal is, but... I might end up needing to. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to figure out a way to get this stupid pen to work properly. And now I'm getting the feeling that this is going to be way more trouble than I thought it was. It's a bunch of libraries. The binaries folder. Dang. None of this is working for some reason. Okay, one part of this needs to be changing the language. There needs to be a way to do that. This color. Is there no way to change what language my thing is in? If so, that's fucking stupid. Color. That's the feeling I'm getting. Dang it. I thought that this website was going to be helpful. Drag and drop not working. On location for current file. I see. Hover over the canvas and press the key that is suspected to be mapped to eraser mode. Switch to the desired pen while keeping the button pressed. When releasing the pressed button, it should switch back to the previous pen style. Huh. Oh. So the idea would be that I do this. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Although it's weirdly laggy, I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Okay, well that works. That's good enough for me. I don't really care about anything other than that. Since a sub n is greater than or equal to 0, the sequence containing a sub n is majorized by a. Thus, the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of a sub n, b sub n, is less than or equal to the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of a times b sub n, which is equal to a times the sum of which is equal to b, which is less than infinity. And then that is our whole thing. Q, E, D. So that's the proof. Alright. Well, homework 6, question 1 was easy. Next we're on to homework 6, question 2. That was weird. There we go. Find a counterexample for each case. Okay. Oh, I need a second screenshot for A and B. Okay, here we go. Let B sub n be going to 0, but is not monotone necessarily. So, what I want to show is that that's not the case. That does not imply. So I'm supposed to find a counterexample. B sub n goes to 0. Okay. I feel like it has to involve, if we're getting rid of monotonicity, trying to think. -1 to the n over n. Could be B sub n. And then what thing could I multiply it by, which itself would be less than infinity? What if I said 1 over n squared? That wouldn't work, because that would go to infinity. That would also need to be not monotone, I think. I think that's the trick, is that the second one has to also be non-monotone. So what's a non-monotone? Oh wait, hold on. Can I just use the exact same example I used for 1a, right? a sub n equals b sub n equals -1 to the n over square root n. Because this does go to, this is less than infinity, and b sub n would go to 0. But, yeah, there we go. Okay. That one I can just, like, literally use the exact same thing I did from before. Now we go for the second one. Let's see. Okay. Let's do it. Let b sub n converge to b, but not to 0. Okay, so for the second one, what I'm looking for is a thing that does converge, but not to 0. Let's say this, let the limit as n goes to infinity of a sub n. Wait, can we say that a sub n is necessarily... I don't think we have... Yeah, the problem is that we don't have that a sub n is positive. So we can't do the similar thing. We can't say that it's because it's not greater than 0. But this is the thing, we only need a counter example. So we don't care if it always would. We just care whether in this case. Okay, so we could say sorry, let's let I don't remember. What does 1 over n squared converge to? I don't remember that. Is equal to pi squared over 6. We're going to let a sub n be greater than 0 for all n and n in the natural numbers, then the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of a sub n we'll just go with this. We also want to note we have to note that that is infinity by divergence test. Wait, that doesn't help me. No, what I'm saying just isn't true. Alright, I think I might actually just end the stream here, because I think I'm getting a little bit burnt out on this, and I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. I feel like that's a good amount of time to been streaming. I'm going to go back through and I'm going to finish some of my other stuff, but I think that might be it for this. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to drop a like if you did. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Peace.